Woo! What the heck is going on? All right, let's go ahead and get this started. I finally found out the fade out, by the way. That's pretty good news, right? Welcome in Rams Showcase Live, taking over every single Monday. And, oh man, I lost my poll. All right, well, I'll make this thing again. But I have a poll that will be going up on the YouTube channel. So be sure to check it out there. Also, make sure I post this bad boy for anybody who would potentially like to join me here today. So that'll go into the comment section wherever you're watching me at. So if anybody would like to jump on something maybe you want to talk about, this is very much about the fans. So Ram Showcase, the podcast version is for me to unload my thoughts, and this is for me to just have conversations. Johnny is in here. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing all right. Sorry about the news, man. The Ring of Honor ceremony for the Bengals lands week 3, Monday Night Football against the Rams. So sorry, the Rams are going to spoil that induction ceremony, dude. It's unfortunate stuff. I wanted to put up this poll, though, before we totally get into everything here, by the way. So let's just put that bad boy up there. I think we're okay, actually. I don't need to have the thing scrolling this whole time, distracting you from the good stuff here. So, oh yeah, we got people loading up. All right, comments already coming in. Rams will, yeah, Rams totally will ruin that that induction. Will, what's going on, Will? Jeff, it's been forever since I've seen you, dude. What's going on over here? I will not calm down, Johnny. I will not. You can't make me. There's nothing that you can do or say that will make me calm down. Dude, I'm wearing a bucket hat right now, dude. I can't calm down. You don't calm down in a bucket hat. Bucket hats are for chaos. Everybody knows that. All right, let's see here. All right, just going to put a poll in the YouTube version of this. So it's not going to pop up on Facebook, just so y'all know. This is simply to get a gauge on how everybody's feeling about the timing of Ram Showcase Live. You have inside info on what Stockton Slap 209. What do you have inside information on, man? So we will do. Late afternoon. I have this typed up and now it disappeared on me. I don't know what happened. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pop that puppy into the comment section, and just feel free to vote because I'm trying to get a gauge on when y'all want to watch Ram Showcase Live. Or else we sign in got, I don't know who that is, man. Clarity, please. We're also doing beers. I have a show to go to later tonight, so that's why we're kind of doing it at this time. Got a band in town that I've never seen live, so pretty excited about that. But I got a couple hours before I take off, so we'll just do one of these puppies. But then later on, like I said, do have the show. I feel like I've been going to a lot lately, but that's kind of sick because I don't know if you know this or not. They are awesome. All right, man. So I'll let everybody know what's going on here. So Rams will be signing Ngannou. I'm guessing it's the pronunciation of that. It's a defensive end who used to play for the Ravens. So he's a Pro Bowl player. Dude, Pro Bowl player. If that's where I'm supposed to, you're disappointed in me? Well, I'm disappointed in you, dude, because you have zero sources of what you're telling me here. It means nothing to me unless you have actual kind of evidence as to why you'd be commenting and saying that he's going to be signed with the Rams. I know inside info, all that stuff, and maybe you don't have the ability to pass along any of that information, but I don't know what to do with that, man. Yeah, Tyler Huntley's also a Pro Bowler. Oh, man, that's funny. And keep in mind, man, okay, so I do Ram Showcase, which means I'm very Ram-centric. I can tell you anything about the Rams, but when it comes to the rest of the NFL, especially when it gets to like the AFC, I'm instantly disconnected. I obviously like love the NFL as a whole, but I can't remember every single player in the NFL. And if you do, I mean, good on you, but I'm not going to do that. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the energy for that. So I don't know what to tell you, man. There's a lot of good players in the NFL. I'm not going to know all their names. Well, thank you, man. It's going to be a good one tonight. Power Man 5000 is in town, so it's going to be good. Also, Swedish band Priest. Pumped about that one, man. Nothing happened to our rumor experiment. We obviously tried. Well, no, I would say we did not try. Really, we did not try. So we'll get this going, man. We'll get this going for sure. And then obviously can't disclose my source, but we'll see. So yeah, I mean we'll see. And I'm not trying to call you a liar or anything like that, but I'm also not saying that he's bad because I don't know him. So I feel like I don't know if I'm being misunderstood here. I just want to make that clear. But just because I didn't know him, that doesn't mean that I'm thinking he's bad or anything. Because there's a lot of good players out there, man. But as far as you saying that, you know, you've got inside knowledge that he's going to sign with the Rams and stuff like that, but obviously you can't share the source. It's not really a conversation that we can. I mean, we can dive into it all we want to, but I also don't know him, so I don't have a lot of background here. I don't know if my input would be very, very good here. As far as if the Rams were to add a defensive end, that kind of does give a shakeup on the defensive line, but I also wouldn't anticipate that move happens based on just my perspective, man. But obviously you might be right, and I'm not trying to call you a liar, like I said. Definitely not saying that you were wrong or I don't believe you, anything like that, but with no basis and you not being able / willing to share how you're getting this information, then that's it. Like that's all I got to say on it, I guess. Like if he comes here, cool. If he doesn't, that's cool too. I like who we have right now, and if he gets added into that mix, well then let's go. But if not, then I'm stoked for who we have. Oh, Yannick Ngakoue. So okay, first of all, you did not spell that name even close to correctly at all. Not even in that one. But yeah, I know Ngakoue. Yeah, of course I know Ngakoue. But yeah, as far as like him potentially coming over to the Rams, I don't think that would happen, but who knows? I also didn't think that we would sign back Sony Michel. I didn't think that we would go with Ahkello Witherspoon. I didn't think that we would sign Johnson or Robinson at wide receiver. So yeah, absolutely, it's very possible, man. But also feel free, man. If you would like, I'll do it again here. Feel free to hop on, man, if you want to have a conversation. Or if wait, there's something I was going to talk about. Let's see here. 49ers talk. All right. Mixing it up a little bit in here. So you're going to the game September 17th. I will not be at the game September 17th. Unfortunately, that's a little too quick for me right now, and just with the financials. So actually looking closer to November time for me to get out to LA. That's kind of the plan right now. Looking at the Seahawks at Rams game. That's kind of where we're looking right now. I'm not even going to put that one up. Stockton Slap. I don't know your name, but maybe I do, and I just don't. I'm not connecting it with your. What is it? What are they? Your handle? I don't. Is that a thing still? Do we call them handles, or is it like your @ or something like that? But either way, I won't put that up there. But that's awesome, man. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Okay, let's see here. Anybody can hop on with me too. Oh, cool. Someone's gonna in about 5. That'll be cool. We get some Niners talk in here. I actually was talking with a Niners fan, CG. I was talking with him on Twitter just briefly the other day because he was saying something about. He made a comment about. He's like, how ridiculous for a Rams fan to think that the Rams would win a Super Bowl before the 49ers. And it's like, dude, y'all don't even know who your quarterback is. Y'all like it could be one of 3 dudes, and like we talk about, man. And not a recipe for success. I don't care if any of them are good or bad. When you have a battle like that, it's not good immediately. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Because one guy throws one bad pick, that doesn't mean that he's over, that it's done. Everybody throws picks. Tom Brady's throwing picks. Manning's throwing picks. All of them throwing picks. Bad ones too, where you kind of look at them and you're like, what are you doing? So that happens, though, when you have 2 quarterbacks. Now, the entire fan base, especially a fan base like the 49ers, which I'm not trying to talk trash here, but you have a fan base like the 49ers, they're like, get this guy out of here. So that's my 49ers fan impression. Johnny coming in says, what would you rate the Bengals' white Tiger uniforms from 1 to 10? That's a good question, man. I do like these uniforms, but as far as what I would rate them as, I actually really like the black uniforms for the Bengals. I prefer those, and I mean they're cool, but I think that they are very much like an ice it out once a year kind of thing. So I would say I would be closer to about 6 or 7 with them. And it's because I'm weird with uniforms, I would say, because like I love like the Rams new ones. I love like the bone and all that stuff. There's a lot of uniforms in the NFL I really like. Not many that I don't like. I think the new Arizona Cardinals ones are whack, but other than that, I mean, they just look like high school ones to me. So I feel like it was pretty uninspired. And I know that simplicity, especially in a place like the desert, is fitting. But yeah, there's something about those Cardinals ones. Like I would be bummed if the Rams did something like that. If like we were just blue and it just said Rams, white number, that's it. I would be pretty bummed out about that actually. So I don't think we would do that, but still. So yeah, I'll put them about there. But I'm a little bit more of a purist in my uniform preferences. And in fact, like I wish that the Rams only wore bone pants because I think those are sick. It reminds me of like way old school back in the day when like so like when you think of like when the Steelers have their bumblebees, which by the way I love those, and I know not everybody does, and I know that's like not a popular opinion. I love those bumblebee uniforms. I think they're so sick. But like those pants, that is pretty reminiscent of back in the day when just like the pant colors were like that. I will get to you, CG, just here very briefly, man. I'm just going to kind of run through a few more of these. Rams house, dude. Good news, Rams house, because a couple seconds here. That's something's about to happen. All right, so let's see here. Rams not going on a 3-decade drought like the Santa Clara. Yeah, I mean, that's true. All right, you know what? We're already talking about these 49ers. We're kind of trashing them a little bit already. So you know what? This doesn't need to be one-sided, though, okay? We need to let a 49ers fan defend themselves over here. So let's go ahead and bring them in. CG, man, how you doing?
Oh, it's been a long time, Joe. I know it's been a long time since the NFC West Network, man. But hey, hopefully everything is well. I know I was going at Rudy, and then your boy Jake went at me, and everything was kind of like chaos. You jumped in, and
Yeah.
I know the quarterback is a question mark. I get that part.
Yeah. Well,
But
okay. First and foremost, before we dive into all that, man, where are you at right now? Where you hit me up from?
what am I doing currently?
Yeah. Where you at?
Oh, I'm at my house.
Okay, cool, man. And that's you're in Cali, right?
Yeah, and
Okay, for sure.
down the Central Valley, like Fresno.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Let's see here. I want to put this up for you. I'm still not used to this puppy all the way. There we go. CG, man.
Yeah, Rams house got his wish. I gave him his wish.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff, man.
I saw the notification, so it popped in. So I said, Joe's live. Okay, maybe I'll jump in.
Heck yeah, man. I love it, man. You're absolutely always welcome here for sure, man. Yeah, back in those NFC West Network days, man. I miss them, but hey, I also love my new job. So I ain't.
Hey, you can't hate on it, bro. It's just business-wise, you know. I had to go do some extra work, and I don't know about the NFC West Network going on right now, so it's kind of been like low. I'll be real with you. Low-key, they're just not a committed Rams fan. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that happens, man. Like I know when I was in there, obviously my work kind of changed everything. Now that I'm a nighttime DJ, so that kind of threw in a wrinkle. I know Peo was great in there, but
he was awesome.
But it's one of those things, man. It's a little demanding, and especially when you're not seeing everything you want out of it necessarily. And I love the NFC West Network, and I would absolutely go back if my schedule could work it, man. But it made sense that I just couldn't do it anymore. That works, man. But
yeah, it's understandable. It's business, bro. It's understandable. You know, since the NFC West Network has been quite on a hiatus, bro, I've been getting a lot of athletes on, so it's been like pretty fun. I mean, I actually recently just interviewed some wrestlers. I did a bunch of other. I even interviewed the guy who won a Super Bowl with the Rams, but he was on the bench. That's the thing. Matthew Willis. I don't know if you heard of him.
The name doesn't ring any bells for me, man.
But he's an actor. He played Andre the Giant, but he played like for the 99 Rams, but he was a part of 6 different teams.
Oh, okay, for sure, man, for sure. Well, hey, man, let's go ahead and have this conversation, man. So first and foremost, man, if you had to guess, who is going to be the starter week 1 for the Niners?
Man, dude, that's the problem right there. It's like, okay, everybody's saying if Purdy is medically clear, that seems obvious, but what if Trey just ends up being the best throughout the offseason? He's been putting extra work, and it's kind of like, you know, that's a question mark. You know, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm probably going to guess that it's Brock Purdy, if I'm being real.
I mean, I would guess so, man, but at what point is the decision you make at quarterback, if it is Brock Purdy, is that admitting that you made a mistake on Trey Lance?
Oh, dude, without a doubt, like, the thing with the situation with Trey Lance is he was just put out of a position to where, Shanahan just didn't use him right. Maybe with the proper coaching, proper training throughout the offseason, he would at least be able to, because, when he had terrible footwork, he had to work on his accuracy. So that was something that Trey needed to improve on. But Brock Purdy, you can say what you want. He just looked the part. He fit the system. You can agree on that part, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Really good.
We got lucky out of that pick, if I'm being real, but I don't know how that's going to play out because, like you said, they might have some film on this kid, and the Cowboys actually kind of showed some of that tendency, and that kind of went into the Eagles.
Yeah.
So,
well, okay. And so say this then. So the way that Brock looked last year, because in my mind, if Brock is the starter week 1 and they're both healthy, that's admitting that you made a mistake on Trey Lance. You shouldn't have given up the picks. You shouldn't have moved up to get him. It was a waste. Or if you start Trey Lance, you have a quarterback who looked good last year, who's got trade value now. And if you can get rid of Brock Purdy for really, if you can get a sixth round pick or above, I think you're looking pretty good because he was a mystery irrelevant. And you could definitely get more than that for him. He's a quarterback who performed well last year, got all the way to the NFC Championship. So that's one of those things where I feel like it's a mistake in general to go into the season and have both of them at your disposal. I think that's already a mistake. Commit to one guy, give him the keys, and let's go. You know what I mean? If you have both of them, that's just going to stir up controversy all year long.
It is already controversy as it is because Brock Purdy came off the injury. He looked pretty good in those 8 games, but everybody's forgetting about Trey Lance. And then now everybody's kind of writing him off. This is kind of like, I don't know, this kind of reminds me more of last year when people were writing off Geno Smith. I don't know why, but weren't we one of those guys that wrote him off a little bit?
Well, let's also not pretend like Geno Smith isn't still Geno Smith. 1 year in him performing well and he wasn't, Geno didn't look like he was doing anything that just like that system isn't capable of. You know what I mean? Like even look, Russell Wilson leaves that system and then looks terrible, and he was great there, obviously. So is it just a good system, a friendly system for a quarterback?
Probably.
I think that's reasonable to say.
But I think for Trey, man, yeah, you're right. Like if we don't play Trey, it kind of seems like it's a waste in some ways. But if we play him, what's the point of trading Brock Purdy if you could have a capable backup to step in when the injuries happen?
You already have Darnold, who they're comfortable with. You don't bring them in if you're not comfortable with them.
But you want to make sure you have the entire policy. Remember how the injuries happened last year? We went through 3 quarterback injuries. I think our season would have been over if we didn't have another quarterback like that. Sam Darnold, he's kind of been like whatever. 2 teams giving up on him. Is it possible that he can resurrect his career with Kyle Shanahan?
No, he's a backup, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, if you go into the season with both of them, the second one has a bad game, and it could just be a bad day. People have bad days.
Yep.
The whole fan base is going to be calling for the other guy, and I think you're in a
yes, they are. It's the business side because if he plays terrible, they're going to call it out, or they're going to want the other guy to come off the bench. So it's
to your point also, where you talk about the injuries last year, you can't just based on last year, and even speaking from the Rams' perspective here, is you can't just because you had a lot of injuries last year, you can't say going into this year that that's just going to happen again because you don't know that answer. You know what I mean? Like just because you have injuries one year does not mean that just translates into these guys are just going to get hurt the next year. So to hold 2 quarterbacks because a guy might get hurt, I think you're also wasting I think you're wasting value in your roster because you could get something else for that guy, whether that's trading Trey Lance or Brock Purdy.
So, all right, let me ask you this question. So, since you feel that way, what would you trade for that quarterback from what other team? Like, let's say you're John Lynch. What quarterback would you trade for, and what would you want in return, or what?
You don't trade a quarterback for him. I mean, you trade something else for him. You get the guy that you feel comfortable with. You know, maybe an offensive lineman, maybe a backup wide receiver, maybe you get an edge rusher or something like that. Like, you don't just go quarterback for quarterback because that would be pointless. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like for just like the value from another team that needs a quarterback.
If I am the 49ers and I'm looking at moving Brock Purdy, I want a 2nd-round pick and a backup player, whether that's a corner or a wide receiver, like a 3 or 4 wide receiver or corner, and a 2nd-round pick. That's what I'd want.
I would think if it came down to it, I would want to get another edge rusher because it makes the job easier.
and in fairness, it's like it depends on who that team is and what they have an abundance of and what they're willing to give. Also, what does their draft status look like? Rams finally have a first-round pick, so that kind of changes things if we're talking about it. Also, for the 49ers, I don't have that deep understanding of their roster and where they could use other guys to benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, remember the logic back then? Who needs first-round picks? They're for suckers. Maybe it's still the logic. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so, man. First-round picks, I mean, they're coin tosses, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like if we can get a guy that we feel comfortable fitting into our system, who we feel like is going to fit in really well, like Matthew Stafford, like Jalen Ramsey, like all these guys that we've done it before, why not do it again? You know what I mean? Instead of a coin toss.
I mean, sometimes you hit pretty well on those late round picks, and that's where the Niners have been very successful at. So it's like, you know, George Kittle, nobody expected this guy to be a stud, but he was good at Iowa. You know, he was more of a blocking specialist.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. All like 3 of the NFC West teams outside of the Arizona Cardinals are really good at getting those like mid rounds. They're good at nailing those picks. The Seahawks do it, the Rams do it, the Niners do it. So that's what.
Yeah, Cardinals just have a hard time finding that type of player. But yeah, you know, it's all love to you guys, bro. I don't got nothing against you. I actually just hate the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboy hater, so don't change my mindset.
I've got everything against you. See, I was kidding.
No, but in all seriously, bro, like I always have fun with all this stuff, you know. Like, but I'm not like those other Niner fans. I've given you guys the most credit, man. I've actually gave you the utmost credit during that time. But man, dude, you know, you guys were the better team. That NFC Championship game, you guys got your revenge. You even predicted that that's what you wanted to see happen. So yeah, you know, but I'm not like some of them, you know. I'm not like Rombo, like everybody else. I respect Rombo, but I'm not like those guys. I'm not like the rest of those cats that get a little too delusional. I can be realistic about it, as most Niner fans.
Well, and part of it too is knowing that like any conversation that me and you are having specifically, I know if I'm saying anything bad about the 49ers, you know that that's not me trying to attack you as a person. So
you're just giving me your own opinion and your own criticism. You know, I'm here to just maybe correct you or maybe just chime in a little bit, but I'm not like some of those guys, you know. But, you know, I'm going to definitely look forward to go down to that stadium because I got my tickets down over there at SoFi. So September 17th, if any of you Rams fans want to go link up, man, I'll be down there.
Dude, yeah, man, it'd be a good time. You never been to SoFi?
Nah, I never been down SoFi, and for the guy in the comment, I can't speak on behalf of Sickness. That dude, he burned bridges towards me. I can't say much about that guy. That guy's kind of a faker. Not no disrespect, but
we'll keep it. I keep
it positive, bro. I keep it positive, but you know, when you gotta speak it like it is, and you get a lot of these homers, I gotta call them out sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't play that. I don't play that little cookie.
Before we wrap up here, man, I want to shift gears a little bit. And from your perspective, I want to talk about the Rams. This is Rams Showcase. All right.
Okay, I got you.
But from your perspective, man, what are you thinking as far as like expectations from the Rams, from the 49ers perspective? What do you look at when you see our team and our roster and what we're going into this year? What would you realistically expect from the Rams this year?
I mean, as long as Stafford is healthy, because that's going to be the most important key for the Rams. If Stafford can stay healthy and your offensive line can do a really good job, I think you guys are at least in the mix for the playoffs. Because I think let's all agree, all of the 3 teams in the NFC West have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Cardinals. Yeah. But for the Rams to even have a chance to get back on track, it really has to depend on Stafford and Cooper Kupp's consistency. That's always been his thing, but you gotta have another receiver to step in. And if Van Jefferson could be the guy, then that's good. But I think your defense it's going to take a step down a little because you got a lot of young players and it takes time. And, you know, that's part of what you guys did in the draft. So that's going to take a little time for that team to gel. So I think the future is bright as far as you guys building the team. But I think it's going to take some time for you guys to get in the mix to win that division, if I'm being real.
For sure. I mean, that makes sense, man. It really comes down to which of these rookies are going to hit and which ones aren't. And make like if a good chunk of them can hit, then this could be a pretty fun year. If we have only 2 or 3 that are decent, then probably not going to be that fun this year. So
yeah, you know, it's just, you know, this division, it's pretty much interesting, but it's just if you're the Cardinals, you're pretty much done. I mean,
I've already put money on them getting the first overall pick.
No, yeah, I think it's possible, but I think I got my money on the Raiders actually tanking.
I don't know, man. That's an interesting one. That
fourth place.
They could definitely be in that conversation for sure, but I don't know, man. I don't even think even people like you give Jimmy enough credit for what he was able to do.
Oh, dude, Jimmy was winning 70% of our games. When healthy, he did win games, but last season, it kind of shown that maybe Shanahan found the guy that would fit the system, and maybe 70% of those games from Jimmy was, he built that foundation. So I'm giving him his flowers, but if he goes to the Raiders, there's no defense. Josh Jacobs is holding out, so I don't know if he's going to play. Devontae Adams is throwing his quarterback on blast about how the team is making that decision, Derek Carr's his boy, so he goes to New Orleans. So I don't know how that's going to work out. And Jimmy's too focused on the ranch, which is that little ranch in Vegas, I guess.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I don't think there's any team with a more messed up coaching staff situation, a more messed up roster situation than the Arizona Cardinals. I just think that they are so bad right now.
Yeah, the Kyler Murray situation, we don't know if he's going to come back the same. I mean, Mike is kind of like, trying to have that a little optimistic, but I see this Cardinals team in complete shambles right now. I mean, the new coach.
Every single team in the NFL 0-0 right now. There is no reason for any fan base, no matter what your team looks like, no matter what your roster looks like, anything. There is no reason for anybody to go in pessimistic. You're all 0-0, man. Anything?
No, there's optimistic in any other perspective. Yes, like if you don't feel that same way about your team, then I don't know what you feel about. But maybe later in the season, that's when you'll have a different understanding. But see, I'm out. Yeah. Unlike some Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm not talking Super Bowl every year. I'm thinking if we can make the playoffs, I think our ceiling is NFC Championship. So I'm going to stay right there. But for those other Niner fans who think too highly of that, I don't know. I call them out too much, bro. Like, there is not a single Niners fan in some other communities that would actually put their own fan base in their own place just to give them some actual facts.
So you think that the 49ers ceiling is what they've been doing this entire time, is second place in the NFC?
I think they need to prove me wrong otherwise. I think our ceiling is to the conference championship. Like, we have the talent. It's just, I don't know why Shanahan just forgets where he's at. But if that's pretty much our biggest ceiling, if we make the Super Bowl appearances, then I'm willing to shut my mouth. But I think that's pretty much our ceiling. Like, we don't have a problem going to the conference championship. It's just
Shanahan's problem, because he's a very good coach. I mean, credit where credit's due. But
yeah.
His problem is that when he's too comfortable with leads. I mean, he's responsible for one of the biggest collapses in NFL history on the biggest stage. And it happened like NFC Championship, like you were saying, against the Rams. I mean, we're all sitting there kind of feeling going into the fourth quarter that, damn it, this game might be over. You know what I mean? Like, we knew it was
and it's
possible,
not. That's the weird part, yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, it was possible. And it obviously happened. So.
Yeah, and I think there needs to be a player that needs to challenge them a little more instead of a DC that challenges them. I think if you get somebody like a Steve Wilks, he's old school, maybe it'd be a lot better on our defense. But I think it has to come down to the quarterback that would have to challenge Shanahan, which, he likes his yes man. So This is why you won't get a Tom Brady. This is why you won't get an Aaron Rodgers over here, because Shanahan wants to run it his way. It's my way or the highway.
Well, it's not working. So, hey, as long as he wants to do that, that's fine with me.
Hey, dude, expectation is, at some point we'll eventually get one, but I'm not going to go too hype on that. But I think realistically, the Rams, it might take a couple of years for you guys to contend, but I think you guys are building a great foundation. So no disrespect towards that.
Yeah, and got there's a bunch of cap space next year. Obviously, we talked about the first round pick again.
Yep.
And going into next year, we have a lot of guys who will now have NFL experience. That is something we don't have this year. We have a lot of rookies, almost 40 rookies on this roster right now.
You cleared a lot of the players. Like, you got rid of some of your veterans. So that's going to take a little time because, I've seen a lot of these young players we had over the years, and it does take time for them to gel. So you're going from Ramsey. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, I might even roast that one guy we used to have, Witherspoon, man. I don't know about that guy. It's like he was like solid at some point, but he gets beat every now and then. So it's like, good luck with that guy. Good luck with him, but good luck with him. I seen him had like the worst ranking in Pro Football Focus at one point. But if he can do well for you guys, then cool. But I just like this. I liked his height and all that, but he just never was able to get it together. You know what I mean?
Okello is not stepping in for Jalen. That's not.
Oh, that's not his role. He's just going to play as a starter.
He's a veteran presence. That's all.
Adds veteran experience and knowledge, but that's the difference. I mean, you're just bringing some guys. You're not going to go big this year, but next year, once your cap space kicks in, I don't expect nothing less. You guys are going to go big on it at some point.
Yeah, this is a reset year. We're good.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to wait and see what happens. But hey, it's 0-0, so let's be optimistic, man. But yeah.
Well, it's a reset and develop year, and that's fine. That's okay. You can take those. It's the whole zoom out thing, man. It's like 2023. It matters, obviously. It's what we're about to go into, but it's not the only thing that matters. You gotta think about 24, 25, 26, and how those years are going to look. So if you zoom out a little bit and you look at 23 in what it is, which is a development year, and to get these young guys reps and stuff like that,
get them experience. Yeah,
need to do, man. Like let's do it then, because then next year we'll have young guys who now have experience, and they'll just
make some leaps.
Yeah,
make that second year leap and a bunch of stuff. So this is how the Niners would operate. We sometimes bring in those young guys, but we bring them in slowly. We don't rush them in. But for the Rams, you get to be able to see what those young guys could do. So that's going to be pretty intriguing. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. There's a couple of picks I do like from you guys' picks. Byron Young, I like the kid from Tennessee. The guy has some speed rush. This was my favorite draft crush coming into the draft was Tomlinson, bro. That dude looks like he could be a legit starter, bro. The Travarius Tomlinson, that dude, I think he was one of the best nickel corners in the nation, but plays everywhere, bro. If this guy gets a lot of playing time, I think he'll get better with experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited for him, man. He's gonna be good. Like, I'm pretty locked in on him being awesome, man. That guy, he's healthy. Yeah. He's like, and the only reason he fell is because of his size, but he plays big, so. That's all you need, man.
Yeah, that's all we need.
That middle, man, we gonna lay a shoulder into him.
Pretty much, man. But I mean, you get to see how this develops, bro. And then and I think you drafted a receiver. Maybe he can be your number 3, the guy that you guys got from BYU. I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, Puka Nacua, man. They're saying he's very much a Robert Woods type player. So hopefully he can develop into that production.
Hey, you never know. Sometimes you get those late round gems. I thought he could have been drafted a little higher because I've heard a lot about his separation, a bunch of stuff at BYU. I was actually kind of thinking of him at that point, but then I said, we got the kid from Michigan. I think he might be pretty solid.
Yeah. He I think he fell because of his injuries. So
that's true.
Stay healthy. The best ability is availability. So just stay out on the field, man. Stay out on the field. Well, hey, CJ, man, I'm not trying to necessarily kick you off here, man, but it's I'm
okay.
Keep the conversation rolling, man. Thanks for stopping by, man. You're always welcome on these Ram Showcase every single Monday.
Hey, we'll need to link up or collaborate maybe next time down the season, bro. Just hit me up.
Good, for sure, man. And where can we find you, man, if anybody wants to follow you?
Definitely, man. Hey, for all you Rams fans, it's all love. Don't take it personal, but find me under CG Ruthless 49ers Talk. But I'm under the Spotlight 49ers Talk because I do a lot of my guests. But I have just pretty much 49ers Topic. If you like sports in general, what I do is pro wrestling and other stuff. I have Ruthless Aggression Sports Network. We do more than just other sports, but you guys are more than free to go check it out, man. I have fun with it. But hey, Joe, I appreciate it, bro. And it's been a long time since we debated, but have a great day, bro.
You as well, man. Thanks for stopping in. So that was CG. We kind of go back a little bit. Big Blake is saying that my volume is a little low. I'm having issues with my driver for my mixer to get into this computer specifically. So it is what it is right now. We'll get that fixed though. Like I said, I'm just having issues with the driver. It didn't load up correctly, so I'll have to dig into that at some point. But it is what it is right now. So this is the best I got for you, unless you just want me to yell, I guess, which seems extreme. So I'm not going to do all that stuff. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Rams House did say, yeah, he says that that he heard that Tomlinson fell because he gets a little grabby. Yeah, he's penalties have been a thing for him for sure. But yeah, Slot God 2.0, dude. He's a football player, and that's awesome, man. So, and obviously the good bloodlines, that's got to do something for you, right? I mean, we kind of talk about that a lot. I remember I did when I was writing about the Rams. This was probably 2014. When I was just a writer, um, I did a Father's Day post about like all the dads for like the Rams players. So we went into like James Laurinaitis and his dad, and then Chris Long. There was a few others, but I mean that website's defunct now, so I can't even go find it. But yeah, CG, good times, man. Always good chatting with you, man. We all have a lot to learn about the game, man. I don't love. I'm gonna call you out a little bit here. I don't love that you are presenting your comments in a way that you are just this football messiah and we're all stupid for not knowing what you know. So I don't know if that's what you're trying to put out, man, but that's what I'm picking up. And I don't know, man. We all have a lot of things going on. You can't know everything about the game. You know what I mean? That's you said Ngannou for the name for Ngakoue, and then we're like, you don't know if he's top 10 guy. Like, you didn't say it right, so I don't know what to tell you, man. But yeah, I'm sure there's gaps in your football knowledge as well, man. And I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to be a jerk at all, but it seems to be a trend right now in the comments. So yeah, so want to see Trey return. That's kind of an interesting one. I don't know if I would love to see him there. I guess it would depend. I don't think was he returning down there at TCU. I don't watch a lot of college football anymore now that I work on Saturdays. So I don't know what to tell you. You are okay, but you won't join me. You don't want to join? Feel free to. Expectations for Jordan Fuller. Jordan Fuller is a clear-cut leader in the secondary. So obviously, I'm expecting to. Don't like that comment, man. We're gonna keep it pretty cool here. I'm doing everything. I'll be respectful, man, but I request it back. That's all. So let's see here. What was I talking about? Fuller. So obviously he's a clear-cut leader in the secondary. So it's obviously super cool to see what role he's been able to kind of develop for himself over these years. But I would say expect him to just be that leader, man. Like he's obviously a good player. He's awesome in the secondary. He knows what he's doing back there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him with a captain patch. But at the same time, with those three guys, Fuller, Jones, and Donald, I mean, how many captains are you going to have, kind of thing. So that's, I mean, kind of, you know. Oh, and saying that the high school running back. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, yeah, he could probably return, but I also think we have a lot of guys that could return. And if I had to pick myself, if, Sean McVay's calling me, which would never happen, he was like, hey, Joe, who do you think should be our kick returner and punt returner? I go Tutu, simply because I don't think he has a role in the offense. I think that Tutu Atwell, I think he's maybe our 8th or 9th best wide receiver on the roster right now. So I think that he's better suited to be a returner, a return specialist, kind of slip into that B-POW kind of role. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I would pick if I was, selecting a returner for myself. So this is a good comment too, man. So we'll see if Morris can coach this year, which I realize is like a little bit of a I've had my criticisms of Raheem Morris, but I want to point to Matthew Stafford when we talk about Raheem Morris, and that might not make a lot of sense, but let me try to clarify what I mean by that. So what I'm saying here when I relate Raheem Morris to Matthew Stafford is, do you remember when Matthew Stafford lost Calvin Johnson? And everybody kind of didn't know what to expect from Matthew Stafford, and it's like he's had the safety blanket for so long and stuff like that. And then Matthew Stafford became so much better of a quarterback. He didn't have that one guy to rely on, kind of like he's doing with Cup, but that's neither here nor there. But he had that. He had to kind of get better. He didn't have a guy that he could just toss it up into quadruple coverage and score touchdowns. He needed to go through his reads. He became so much better of a quarterback. So I say that because Raheem Morris now does not have Bobby Wagner and Jalen Ramsey. So I kind of feel like it's a similar situation where he can no longer kind of just rely on them to make the big plays. He needs to be better. And so I'm actually kind of excited this year. I think the continuity, first of all, is good. in this sense, because like obviously I wanted Raheem Morris to kind of maybe get hired somewhere else. Like I wanted him to get that Colts job, stuff like that. But with the number of rookies that are on this defense, I think it's great to have continuity. Plus, like I say every time I talk about Raheem Morris, if Raheem Morris is gone, we probably don't get Aubrey Pleasant back to coach these the secondary. So for that reason, also, I'm super pumped to have Raheem Morris back. Whatever that means for the future, that means whatever for the future. But today we have Raheem Morris. And hey, I've got his back, man. As long as he's here, I've got his back. And the second he's gone, maybe I'll be a little happy about it. Whatever. Kind of like Taylor Rapp. It's like I didn't want Taylor Rapp to play poorly just so I could be like, see, I told you he's not good. I wanted him to play well. I would way rather like talk about a player that I don't necessarily love how they're performing and all that stuff, and have something where I have to come out eventually and say I was wrong. They're doing awesome. Than to say, see, I told you I was right. This guy, he's not getting it done. You know what I mean? But it's Taylor Rapp, Sean Mannion, it's Tutu Atwell. It's these guys that I see like they just don't do anything, but for some reason, so many people are just like all about them. So, I mean, that's awesome. And again, I hope that they do well. I just don't really see it. So let's see here. Rams house. You can bring back anyone who wore a certain number in our history to help our team. What number are you picking? So to clarify here, do you mean like I can pick a number and then everybody who's worn that number I get to have? Because that's hard, but also very cool. 91's a good one. 81's a good one. 28. Okay, yeah, that is what you mean. 28, 29, 80, 81. Let's see. That's tough, man. That's a good question. It's a really good question. When you say we don't want Tutu Atwell as a returner, I don't know what you mean by we. Are you just talking about yourself? Is that just your perspective? Because I want him to. I would rather see him as a returner than any other position. So. Oh, I can only pick one. Oh man. I don't know, man. That's so tough. Ooh, 85 and 74. Those are two good ones, man. I'm trying to think of like numbers that like a bunch of sick players have worn. Like 91. Like you immediately give me Chris Long and Leonard Little rushing the passer. Bro. Yeah. Give me that all day. Get Big Whip back. Hell yeah. Make a podcast around that question. I could probably do it. Just kind of go through. That'd be tough though, man. It's tough. If anybody wants to hop on, by the way, I know I think I scared off one guy. He didn't want to join me. Just want to talk in the comments. That's cool. I don't know who you are though, man. That's I want more clarity on a lot of stuff. So you're saying a lot of things, man. I think I'd probably stick with 91. Pairing Chris Long and I know we've had Chris Long and Aaron Donald together before, but pairing Chris Long and Leonard Little with Aaron Donald in the middle, that's pretty sick. So let's see here. This one says, I just want to see Tutu play. If he's a guy, let him play. His usage this year tells us everything. I don't think it's necessarily outside of the realm of possibilities he gets cut. I'm not predicting that, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. We just haven't really seen much. He's got great straight line speed. He's had a couple of very explosive plays, but we haven't seen him like shake anybody. We haven't seen him like he gets touched and he's getting tackled. Like you can just kind of reach out and just barely grab his jersey and he's falling down. So it's like, it's kind of frustrating, man. So Mike coming in with a question via Facebook here. Will McVay take a leave of absence when his baby is born? No. I would be so stunned if that happened, to be completely honest. Like I realize that like paternity leave and stuff like that is like a big deal and you obviously would want to be there and stuff like that. But this is also a job that's paying you millions of dollars and it is very critical that you are there. So no, I don't think that he would take a leave of absence. It says, you talk about how Tutu Atwell is too small and goes down easily and fumbles a lot, yet you want him to return punts where collisions are the highest. Are collisions the highest on punt returns? Or have we discovered time and time again that collisions are on every play and punts are just another one? But no, actually, I don't really want him anywhere. I'll be honest. I don't want him anywhere. Oh, good call too. Kevin Green, Leslie O'Neal. Leslie O'Neal, that's a good one. 74 for Olsen. Yeah, that checks out. It checks out. Chris coming in. We add Grant Witcher. Absolutely, dude. Good old Grant. That's good stuff. I like that question, Rams House. That's good stuff. It's a hard question to answer. I'd probably need time to think about it because it'd probably be something so random. You know what I mean? It's like, because if you think about like, and I don't necessarily like want Jared Goff over Matthew Stafford or something like that, but if you give me like a 16, dude, and give me like Amendola back at his peak and stuff like that, man, it's like that kind of stuff's exciting. 17, give me Bobby back, or 2, I guess. But seeing 21's got some interesting ones. Give me Jenks back. Give me Lawrence back. Yeah, there's some good ones, man. 39 just for Jackson, dude. Like, I'll take that all day, dude. Mixed D-line and linebackers. Are you... I'm not totally sure what you're talking about. Der Wolfpack. Also, how did you get your name? How did you do that? That feels like a weird question. How'd you get your name? Like, I didn't choose. I was they told me that was what they say this thing with their face, and then I turn my head to it, you know. Yeah, I already have, by the way, the bulk of my notes done for the next podcast. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to get written in, but old dude. Dude, what? What does that mean? All right, so let's see here. We got what 4 Ram receivers would you want on the field at the same time? Kupp, Bruce, Ellard, Snow. Dude, obviously great choices. I would probably go. I mean, you got to go Kupp. You got to go Bruce. Those are 2 locks for sure. I go Holt in there as well, and maybe that's just like my 32-year-old brain remembering that I've watched him. And then maybe give me Flipper, dude. Give me Flipper. Give me Kupp, Bruce, Holt, and Flipper. Archuleta and Todd Light. Dude, that'd be so sick. Is this a professional photo, by the way, dude? What are you doing over here? That's awesome. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Oz Hakeem. Yeah, man. Are we memory laning it right now, dude? Did we just take a turn? Saw a detour on memory lane on our GPS, so we took that turn. Hell yeah, dude. I'm for it. Also, again, I am 32. So a lot of these players, man, that 2000s era was my peak. And was really what grabbed me and pulled me into my long-term fandom. Also, is anybody coming to Denver for the preseason game? Because that's going to be sick. Elmendorf and Cromwell safety. Hey, dude, you're showing your age. Is that what you mean? Old dude? Oh, that's good stuff, man. That's funny. I'm not trying to talk trash, by the way. I'm just saying, dude. Williams at safety, man, because like obviously like Archuleta and Williams, them being like there for a little bit, that was like, I mean, looking back on it now, it's like, damn, because it's like it's one of those things where it's like you don't know what you're experiencing sometimes until after it's gone. You know what I mean? Like. It's like seeing, I'm pretty sure we had a little bit where Quentin Michael and OJ Atogwe were together, and I really liked that. So, I mean, we could say Patriots. That was so long ago, man. I mean, that's, yeah. Aeneas was Aeneas was a corner, but he did play safety. Yeah, he moved back to safety at the end there, which is pretty standard. A lot of guys do that. So a lot of guys will be at a certain position or like a corner, and then they maybe slow down just a little bit and then kick back. So obviously that's like Ramsey. That was a thing that potentially he was going to do, which I wouldn't have hated, honestly. In my brain, this thing on here, like my brain was telling me that if we're going to lose Rapp, put Ramsey into that role. And I was excited for that. Like, let the corners be corners. And if Ramsey's going to be flying all over the place, put him in a position that's designed for that, like Mark Barron and Taylor Rapp held down. So I thought that made perfect sense, but now he's a Dolphin. So you got that. Dude, the thing with Steven Jackson is that, like, Steven Jackson and James Laurinaitis, that was about it for too long. That was who the Rams were, was those two guys. So it's like I'll always kind of hold them in like they've got a special place in the heart of Sheriff Joe Bex. You know what I mean? Because like those guys, it didn't matter what the record was, what the situation was, what the score was. They were going out there busting their butt cheeks every single play, and I absolutely love that. Effort is one thing that goes so far, in my opinion. Not a lot of people have that, and a lot of people will start to kind of rein it in if you're getting totally blown out or something like that. And those were two dudes who did not do that at all. We have somebody saying that he's glad Ramsey is gone. I think he's done. He was cooked so many times last season and looked terrible in the playoffs or our Super Bowl year. He was overrated, honestly. Yeah, I'll just, without picking out all that apart, yeah, you're in the minority. So I think that he's extremely talented. He's getting to that age where he'll probably fall off soon. And I'm not mad necessarily that the Rams let him go, because it's kind of that whole Patriots thing of it's better to let a guy leave a year early than a year late. And I think that's exactly the Ramsey situation that we're looking at here. So that's the thing. DeMarco Farr, I'm not getting him. He was actually the first Rams player I ever met. It was 2010, I think week 11, if I'm not mistaken, week 11 or 12. Either way, it was in Denver. And it was Sam Bradford's rookie year. Steve Jackson didn't do great that game, which I was a little sad about. He had like 46 rushing yards or something like that. But Matthew Mulligan scored 2 touchdowns. Denario Alexander had a sick catch down the sideline to set up another touchdown. So that was pretty cool stuff. But yeah, it was a weird game, man. Rams were up 33-13, and then the final score was 36-33. Those Broncos, man, almost came back. They almost did it, but Kyle Orton, turns out he's a bag of butt cracks, so he did not do it, which was awesome. But that Rams got into first place. Of course, ultimately, I still have not forgiven Charlie Whitehurst for that Week 17 game. I'm still mad about that. How do we lose to Charlie Whitehurst? And that was what the next game is when the beast quake happened. So I feel like the Rams are responsible for this. The Rams are responsible for one of the sickest runs in NFL history. And I hate to even say that because it was Marshawn Lynch with the Seahawks, but it was so cool. Like, as much as I hate to say that, but yeah, Rams are pretty much responsible for that, losing 16-6 in Week 17, Sunday Night Football at the Seattle Seahawks. That was such a frustrating game, man. They just came in with a good game plan, and Sam Bradford looked he looked pretty rattled from the start on that game, which is unfortunate because that was going to be our first playoff appearance in a while, and then of course didn't make it again until 2017. So that was a little bit of a gap there, which is unfortunate, but. Yeah, I still haven't forgiven Charlie Whitehurst for that, but that takes me back to DeMarco Farr. I met him in Denver that year, just a few weeks really before. It was good stuff, man. I'm sitting there at the tunnel, and I'm kind of like looking. I'm looking down the tunnel at all, like seeing the players coming out and stuff like that. And then I look up, and DeMarco Farr is standing right in front of me. I was like, DeMarco Farr. And he turns to me and shakes hands. Like, I didn't get his autograph, like an idiot, but I got Chris Long's autograph on my Sam Bradford jersey that I was wearing. And that got stolen out of my car. So if you see a blue Sam Bradford jersey for sale, it has a Chris Long signature, number 72 on the back. This was before he changed his number. That was 2010, of course. Get it back for me, maybe, because I want it. I don't want to wear it or anything. I just want it back because it was mine. Yeah, anyway. Isn't Sue still a free agent? Why aren't we trying? Dude, no. Sue, bro? Sue's a bummer, dude. When we had him in 2018, he only tried for like 4 games. He tried against the Lions. That was cool to see. And then in the playoff games, every other game, he was a bummer, man. I wouldn't want Sue back at all. First Steven Jackson going into the stadium. I don't know what that means, man. Adam, what's going on, man? Ooh, favorite Super Bowl play? The Bengals, because there wasn't a lot of cool ones in '53. I would say Jeezy's kick. That's the best play of that Super Bowl. Or was it when Donald threw Brady to the ground? But that's not what we're talking about. Talk about this one here. So I think an easy choice is that no look pass from Stafford to Kupp, where he had apple bite on it, which was really cool to see. In Soviet Russia, apple bites you, or so, there's something there. I don't know. I couldn't get it together. But yeah, that's obviously a good one. The one, Donald throwing him to the ground at the end, throwing Joe to the ground at the end. That was obviously great. Yeah, like I think an underrated play because of that play is the play before that when Donald he's getting blocked and makes the tackle and saves it. Like that's amazing. Oh, 4th down run by Kupp, also great pick. That was such a bold call, man. It's good stuff. There was a lot of good plays in that game. I still maybe every two months or so, I watch the NFC Championship, the Rams Niners. It's on YouTube in full. You can just watch it. It's awesome. It's even interesting because even as you're watching the game unfold, you're like, it feels like the Rams are right in it the entire time, but then just the score is not there. You know what I mean? And then at the end, obviously it works out, but that's the thing. Bradford was not good. He wasn't great, I should say, because when he was healthy and his rookie season, he was solid, man. It was one of those too. At the end of his rookie year, it was like, all right, we're looking better now. It's 7-9, barely missed the playoffs. That's unfortunate, but it's like finally got our quarterback. So and then he just gets hurt a bunch of times in a row. And again, I've said it a billion times. I'll say it again. The best ability is availability. If you're not out there on the field, then you're no good to anybody. So Bradford was a fine quarterback, and he was always a fine quarterback. But his body, man, I mean, that guy was super fragile. So that's all it is, man. Let's see here. Ramsey propped up Morris. Sorry. Our deal will be terrible this year. Will look like the Falcons from 2018. I kind of disagree, man. I'll be honest. I do. And that's simply because we don't know that yet. We don't know if Trey Tomlinson and Byron Young and Kobe Turner and we don't know if these guys are just going to be sick this year. What if they are? Then what? Then we're not a terrible defense. I mean, what if Kobe Durant comes in this year and is just unreal? He's just killing it. He scores 5 touchdowns or something like that. That is possible. So could we have a terrible defense? Yeah, it's possible. But I'm not ready to say in July that yep, it's going to be terrible. It's going to suck. It's not even worth watching. It's going to be bad. I'm just not on that train because we don't know. Simply put, any of these guys could pop this year. Ernest Jones could show that he's a Hall of Fame level guy. Aaron Donald, we have Aaron Donald. I mean, that gives you something already, and then we don't know these edge rushers. What if Byron Young and maybe Daniel Hardy or who knows? One of these rookies at edge rushers. We got a bunch of them right now. What if it's Nick Hampton, who's just unreal, and he just comes in here just absolutely dominating everybody? And let's also not forget, I see the Dante Fowler comment pop up here, and great point. Dante Fowler as well as Leonard Floyd. Both of them were only okay, but you put them next to Aaron Donald rushing the passer, and they look pretty dang good. So Byron Young could absolutely be in that camp as well. And on the defensive line, bringing back Marquise Copeland, I absolutely love. Kobe Turner looks to be like he could be awesome. So I'm not ready to say that our defense is going to be terrible this year and that they're just going to be, just down entirely. We do lose good players, in fairness. Yeah, we lost good players. You said 3 Hall of Famers. Not sure who else you're talking about here. I know Bobby Wagner. I know Jalen Ramsey, but I'm not sure who the third Hall of Famer on the defense that we lost last year is, unless I'm just forgetting somebody. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure who you're talking about there. I'm genuinely confused, man. Hall of Famers, like you're saying Hall of Famers, like that's not just like all pro, that's not just Pro Bowl level play, like that's one of the best ever, and I don't know who you're talking about. Who's the best run stopper this year? Not named AD. It's possibly Turner. But I would give it based on what we know. I would say Copeland, Marquise Copeland. Dude's awesome. I mean, he really is. Like I feel like he's one of those players that Rams fans know that not everybody else knows, but every team has those guys that like that your fan base knows they are awesome. Your fan base knows like the value that they have, but not everybody knows their name around the league. You know what I mean? Does anybody know this third Hall of Famer? There's no comments coming in about this, but I'm not sure who you're referring to. And if somebody says Taylor Rapp, I swear I'm blocking you. Ernest Jones is better than people think. He might take a jump with a year under B-Wags. Yeah, absolutely. I'm fully on board with that. He looked pretty good before. Dude, he's a good player. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. So, yeah, now that he's got a full year of being right next door to B-Wags and learning directly from him all year long, I think that his play takes a jump this year. I think Ernest Jones goes from being sick to being like so sick. You know what I mean? Just a whole other level there. So I'm excited for Ernest Jones this year, man. I think he's going to be known as like in the NFL. I think he's going to be known as a bit of a breakout player for the season. But as far as like on the Rams defense too, Donald. Yeah, we didn't lose Donald though, man. That's what I'm saying. That's your comment made it sound like we lost 3 Hall of Famers last year. So I get what you're saying now. I just kind of maybe I misunderstood your original comment there. I did misunderstand your original comment there, but I don't know if Ramsey's first ballot. He's definitely a Hall of Famer, but I don't know if he's first. Like he might be second, but yeah, I'm not sure, man. I also don't know what those voters really are looking at. Everything, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what matters to them the most. Are they going to have visions of him pulling up in a Brinks truck to Jacksonville and maybe not give him the nod over somebody else who's just an upstanding citizen? You know what I mean? Like I don't, because that's considered when you're dealing with the Hall of Fame. Everything is considered. Your entire body of work is considered, and your personality and what you've done for the game, all of that stuff is still absolutely considered. So that could be the thing, and I would put him in myself, but also just think Jalen Ramsey's so sick. I think he's so dope. So there's that part of it. And again, man, like I think that when we had last year is so hard to consider and be seriously considered, if that makes any sense. With the way the injuries all worked out, the way that the Rams offense was not staying out on the field enough to give the defense breaks. I think it's hard to judge the offense for that reason because it's like we have 4 quarterbacks. You never have your top 4 wide receivers together, injuries all along the offensive line, issues in the running back room. We all know the story, but that also impacts the defense because now they're just out on the field all the time. So I think it's unfair to judge anything from last year, honestly. Let's see here. Terrell Owens not getting in, personality shouldn't matter. Lawrence Taylor's in. What are the similarities and differences about what they've done? Because Terrell Owens, obviously, I don't think anything he did was that bad. I think people do have a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth from Terrell Owens just based on that kind of stuff. But like, don't you miss when like Terrell Owens working out in his driveway was like the craziest thing? Now it's like, oh, this guy murdered 3 people, or like now, like it's crazy now. I miss when it was that was the craziness. when it was like him pulling a marker out of his sock to sign a football during a game. You know, like that was the crazy stuff. Or dude in New Orleans pulling out the phone from underneath the goalpost. Like that was like, oh my gosh, these wackos over here. Now it's Henry Ruggs murdering puppies. You know what I mean? Like I don't mean to be like mean here, but that is like, it's crazy now. Like, and that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with now. It's like, I miss when it was it's like, oh, T.O. is working out in his driveway. This is nuts. That was the craziest thing that happened that year. You know what I mean? Like, make a call, Sheriff. What are you talking about? What call? I'll make a call. I'm going to call right now, dude. Love to miss his physical play. Oh, I'm guessing you're talking about Ramsey. He's got some years left for sure, but he's also not a Ram anymore. So, I mean, how the rest of his career unfolds, I'm pretty indifferent on. Not that I don't like him. Not that I wish ill on him or anything like that, but like, if he has an awesome year this year in Miami, that's awesome. If he doesn't have an awesome year in Miami, that's also fine by me. I'm not a Dolphins fan. I have no emotional interest in their season record at all. Pretty much lock in on the Rams and how they're doing. That's, you know, but also, I mean, I guess I don't get that emotional anymore. Anyway, it's winning's a lot more fun, but losing's not going to make me pick a new team. So, I mean, I'm kind of here for whatever. And I know some people hate that. People are like, you got to have higher expectations of that. We should be winning every game. It's like, well, I mean, I'm just drinking a beer in Colorado, so I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. You put me out there, and I'll try, dude. I'll do my best out there. I'll give it 110% for sure. But it's probably not going to go well. So until they trust me to make any calls, to make any like play calls, if they want me to try to run some routes, put me in at linebacker, if you want me at safety, even just like a backup special teams coordinator guy. I'll do whatever I'm willing to, whatever I can do, I'm willing to do. If I could help the Rams win, I'm all for it. But alas, I am out in Colorado drinking a beer, wearing a bucket hat with my nose pierced and ridiculous hair. So that's why I don't get emotional anymore. Long story short, that's why I kind of let it happen, man. And I guess part of it too is like, for me, watching the Rams games is a lot more about just taking that 3 hours of every week, getting together with the homies, giving high fives for touchdowns and stuff like that, and just enjoying myself. That's the win, right? And I realize that's probably pretty corny, and some of you guys are like, but either way, that's the kind of stuff that I'm here for. Like, it's just the experience of going out to the games. You get to like going out to LA, seeing SoFi, the beach and stuff like that is awesome. Going up to like Denver for the preseason game, gonna see Stetson Bennett throw the rock a few times and stuff like that. It's like, it's fine, man. I'm here for that. I'm here for just the experience of the NFL season. And I had fun last year. Rams were not a very awesome football team, did not win a lot of games, but I still had a great time. We got some really cool moments from last year still. It's like, obviously, Christmas Day was one of the sickest things ever, especially being a Colorado-based Rams fan. That was so much fun for me. You get that Thursday night game against the Raiders. That was super exciting stuff. Like, there were still cool things that happened. I got to see Green Bay, dude. Like, I got to go to Lambeau Field. Like, that 5 wins or not, dude, like, that's something I'll never forget. Like, being in Lambeau Field and watching Baker Mayfield throw a touchdown pass to Tyler Higbee, where Higbee becomes the all-time leading touchdown scorer in franchise history for a tight end. I watched it with my own eyeballs out there, Monday Night Football, Lambeau Field in December, which was incredible. And there was one of my best homies who's a Packers fan. It was his first time at Lambeau. So it's like, I wanted the Rams to win, obviously, but I got one of my homies there who's seeing Lambeau for the first time. That's his team. And he got to watch his team win on Monday Night Football at Lambeau Field, whether that's against my team or not. I mean, that's really awesome for him. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of here for everything. Just like football, man. Wins or losses, it's all a good time. Yeah, winning's a lot more fun. It's so sick to like celebrate a Super Bowl win. That was so much fun, dude. But I mean, still a good time last year. That's all, man. Let's see here. I'll never forget to play against the Giants when he destroyed a screen by knocking the blocker down and dropping the receiver on his neck. Great play. There was so much more to it than that too, man, which was awesome, because not only was it just like he blows up a receiver and nails another guy who just caught the football, but it was Golden Tate, who I've already had issues with from him giving the peace sign to Janoris Jenkins years ago, man. I still hold that. I still hold that. That was when he was with Seattle, but was it Seattle? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was with Seattle. But so yeah, it was the whole Golden Tate story is that Jalen Ramsey got Golden Tate's sister pregnant, and then it was like they were like beefing so hard and stuff like that. So Golden Tate's talking all this trash leading up to this game and stuff like that. And Jalen got him, man. Jalen got him. Throws that right wide receiver to the ground, lays a shoulder into him, and just absolutely wrecks his soul, which was so sick, man. Like, if you haven't seen like the replays of that where like they make the screen shake when it's like, I love that stuff, dude. I love big hits, man. And I think what's kind of like lame but also cool is that like because big hits have kind of been taken out of the game so much that when you see them, they almost mean more. You know what I mean? Like when somebody like when Nick Scott blasts Deebo Samuel across the middle, you're just like, oh man, like that was awesome, because it doesn't happen every play anymore. You know, so good stuff. Let's see. You never know when your favorite player. What the heck is that? All right. You never know when your favorite player last game will be. Other than Donald, is there any? Let me see. Just put this up here so y'all can read. I went to Wasson High School. I'm terrible at reading. Also abuse. So, any other current Rams that could leave and just feel like the end of another era? Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, man. Rob Havenstein. And obviously, like you said, Aaron Donald. So Aaron Donald and Rob Havenstein are the final St. Louis Rams remaining on this roster. So that will feel like the end of, like the official end of the St. Louis Rams is when Rob Havenstein and Aaron Donald are gone. Obviously, it's been a long time. The Rams have done a lot of different things since, like, the logo literally says LA now. You know what I mean? So it's obviously a thing of the past, the St. Louis days are, but that is like really officially closing that chapter officially. So that'll be kind of an interesting moment. But Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, like this is like the Stafford Kupp McVay offensive combo. That is something that we're going to talk about forever. Like, and I hope that y'all realize that, like, while it's here, is it like that is something that like 20 years from now we're gonna be like, I don't know, I'm gonna be 52, which is really lame, but like it's like we're gonna be telling people like, dude, I remember watching Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp, man, that connection was unreal. Like, we're going to be talking about this stuff. I'll be doing Rams Showcase. We'll be in season 28 and I'll be sitting here like, it's like, yeah, man, but I remember covering that Super Bowl year. I don't know why I'm going to talk like that in 20 years, but hey, you know what? I can't tell the future. Golden Tate got that smoke too. Ramsey was ready though. Yeah, dude, he was ready. Great question. I was actually going to ask this to everybody. I was going to ask everybody for an offense and a defense. I forgot to check my poll. How's this poll doing here? Early afternoon seems to be running away with the votes here. That's cool, because that's actually pretty ideal for me. So I like that too. And late afternoon coming in second. You at or before noon voters, I'm going to let you know right now. Chances are slim. All right. Your boy is a nighttime DJ. All right. So I don't get up that early is what I'm trying to say. So who's your current Ram and all-time favorite Ram? This one coming from AJ. Shout out AJ. Thanks for stopping in, man. If you would like to join or hop on, man, anytime, you're always welcome, dude. So let's go all-time favorite Ram, the guy that got me into football in general and into the Rams, one Marshall Faulk, the real Superman. Superman doesn't wear an S on his chest. He wears a 2 and an 8. You know what I mean? So that's, absolutely my all-time favorite player, man. I think without Marshall Faulk, I'm probably not as big of a football fan as I ended up being. Like, the way that he would run and the way that he would see things and the way that he kind of just like let plays develop and the way that he would manipulate people into like the way he's moving and stuff like that to create space. And that, like, obviously that run against the Browns where he's doing the back step and people are falling all over the place and all that stuff. I just thought that was so interesting, man. Just knowing that you're going against the best of the best and he's making people look silly out there, man. So that was absolutely so much fun to watch, man. Marshall Faulk, yeah, he made me love football for sure. Like that's where that started. So I would say if without Marshall Faulk, I'm probably this obnoxious, but about the Colorado Avalanche, like, because that's my, like, it's Rams, Avs. Those are like my teams, you know what I mean? So I would probably be a lot more like there because it is like it's 1 and 2, but I mean, look at what I'm in front of over here. You know what I mean? How many Rams logos can you spot? It's yeah, obviously my love for the LA Rams is next level, but so all time favorite for sure, Marshall Faulk. If I had to go current, I absolutely love Jordan Fuller, man. I love Jordan Fuller. I think he's incredible. I think he's underrated, and it's crazy to me that not everybody talks about Jordan Fuller. And I know that they did like the Madden ratings and all that stuff. I don't play video games, and I'm not here to down anybody that does. It just stresses me out when I do. I always feel like holding a controller in my hand. I just get so stressed out because I know there's other things that I could be doing. There's projects that I'm working on right now that I could absolutely be giving my time to. So it just stresses me out to play video games. I realize that not that that's a very much a Joe thing, and that other people tend to use that as a stress reliever. So and I respect that, but for me, it just stresses me out. I can't get out of my brain all the other things that I need to be doing and getting done when I'm playing video games. So saying that, I know I didn't really look at the list that much. I know everybody's mad that Cooper Cup's ratings or whatever. To my knowledge, also, and maybe I'm wrong here, but don't they update those like every week once the game's out? So like, if he's like the 5th best wide receiver, well, just let him play a few games. He might be the best one. You know what I mean? So like, why does the first ratings matter so much? Don't they just change? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deep. Maybe I'm not looking deep enough. I don't know. But yeah, I really love Jordan Fuller. Obviously, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, those are guys that you have to love. Matthew Stafford as well, because Matthew Stafford's a one of one, man. You don't get a guy that is that genuine and that's like family oriented, but also that focused in on the game. Like, and you can even point to Tom Brady. Like, homeboy got divorced. You know what I mean? Like, at some point that takes a toll, but I don't think it's doing that for Matthew Stafford. I think he's finding a good balance there, which is really cool to see. So there's that part of it. And then also he's just a straight up Iron Man, man. Like, I feel like you could rip off his leg and he would try to still get back to the huddle. You know what I mean? And I have so much respect for that. Just cool stuff, man. And feel free to drop yours. If you got all-time favorite, current favorite, definitely drop them in the comments. For sure. Ooh, late afternoon and evening are now tied in the poll. Now that I talked about it, some votes came in. Early afternoon, though, still in the lead. Still in the lead. Which I'm mainly curious about this because it's a Monday, and I'm off on Mondays, but I know that the world's not, so I don't know, man. Let's see here. I'm missing a lot of comments. Let's see. How long will Havenstein play? I think he's played very well, and hopefully he ages well. Well, he's like what? He's actually pretty young. Let's see, he's 29 or 30, right? Check. Yep, everything's chaos. All right. So, yeah, I want to say that Rob Havenstein's like 29, or he just turned 30, or he's right in that range. I'll just say that. But let's just find out. How about that? We got this whole box at 31. Okay, so a little off, but that's okay. But 31 still. I mean, that's not bad. He's born in 92 after me. He's younger than I am. So for everybody who's calling him old, get wrecked. But yeah. It's weird. I'm older than Rob Havenstein. I don't know if I like that. I'm like 4 months younger than Aaron Donald. That'll make you feel real cool. The first time there was like a Rams player, and it was Aaron Donald. The first Rams player that got drafted, it was like my age, and I was like, oh man, it's like we took different paths, huh? And then Bobby Brown being the first Rams player to be drafted, born after the 2000. He was born in 2000. That blew my mind. And it was like, there's a 2 there, and he's in the NFL. What? You know what I mean? So that's good stuff. But let's see here. Changing of the guard. McVay will build us another Porsche. Absolutely, dude. We're going, like I said, it's a development year. We say that a bunch right now. Pretty much every person who creates content about the LA Rams kind of understands that we have a lot of young guys right now, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get everybody, good to go. But it's going to happen. That's the cool part, is that we just need some time to get these guys some reps, get them all out there, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Got to be Donald and all-time Kurt Warner or Steven Jackson. I know that Kurt Warner is not necessarily the most popular answer. I respect it though, man. Steven Jackson, I mean, shoot, man. I was just watching the highlights the other day of Steven Jackson, and it took me back, man. Like seeing the way he was running, that was cool, man. Good stuff. 54 years, you've never seen a season with such low expectations. I'm calling BS on this, dude. I'm just gonna say that I don't think that that's real. Going into 2009, you don't think that those were lower expectations, man? Come on now. I don't believe that. I believe it's Bill, right? Yeah, I don't buy that, man. I don't buy the low expectations we've ever seen. That stretch between like 2007 2009, that was, you went into every year being like, this is not going to be good. It's like, we'll see, but I don't know. That was just the way it was, man. So you're endeavoring to might need some vitamin. Yeah, I'm not in Denver. I live in closer to Colorado Springs area. That's where the concert's at tonight, Colorado Springs. I live in Fountain, Colorado, home of one Morgan Fox, the hometown. The high school that Morgan Fox went to was like a 5-minute drive from me right now. But yeah, man, the vitamins, it's a very real thing. It's so not weird out here, though. I think that that's like part of it, is it's like the vitamins are very much just like you'll get judged harder for smoking cigarettes. People are like, what are you doing out here, dude? This is Colorado. Like, put that thing out. Put that thing out, smoke this. Let's see here. Excited to watch Stafford prove to everyone he can still play, even though it shouldn't be in question. It really shouldn't, because it's not like, I don't know, man. Again, we can't look at last year. Last year didn't happen. Oh, like Men in Black it real fast. Like it's out, man. Ooh, Jerome Bettis is the all-time. All right, AJ. And current, yeah, Aaron Donald's such an easy one to go with, man, because he's such a. It's like, and I'm not like, because obviously Aaron Donald's sick, and we all love Aaron Donald. He's all of our favorite players, essentially. I don't think anybody's like, I don't really like this guy. Who's this AD guy, man? Can we trade him or something? I don't think anybody's really doing that. But I mean this in no way to say like anything negative or anything, but it's like saying that Aaron Donald's your favorite player is kind of like saying that, like, it's like, oh, you listen to rock and metal, like what's your favorite band? And then you're like, Metallica. It's like, well, yeah, obviously Metallica's sick, but like, who's like your favorite? Just one of those. Or like how everybody became Patriots fans. I don't know. That's probably a terrible analogy, but yeah, dude, over cigarettes, that's pretty standard in Colorado. Like I said, it's you get dirty looks for smoking a cigarette in Colorado. That's not cool anymore, man. It's like that's old school, man. Get that out of here. You ain't cool for smoking a cigarette. Get that out. I'm so glad I quit. I smoked for 10 years, man. 10 years. Too long. I quit. My last cigarette was February 15th, 2020. I remember that because it was the day that the Colorado Avalanche and LA Kings played at the Air Force Academy. I got home and had about half of one, and I was like, I don't like this. And I put it out, and that was it. I don't need like a congratulations or anything. Because I think also, sidebar, we're going to sidebar this about cigarettes real fast. Quitting cigarettes, it's not nearly as hard as they tell you it is. And I'm part of the conspiracy theory that I think that it's the cigarette companies that are like, it's so hard to quit though. You should probably just keep going. It's so hard to quit. I don't think it's that hard. You get a little bit of withdrawals, your head hurts, you might get a little dizzy sometimes, whatever like that, but overall, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. All right. Let's not talk about that anymore. All right. What is the Joe Stradamus prediction for biggest breakout players for offense and defense? So defense, I don't know if I really consider Ernest Jones being like that big of a breakout player, but I do think that he's in that, like, I think overall in the like NFL wise, he's definitely like the breakout candidate for the defense. And if you have to go two on defense, Durant, bro. Kobe Durant, man, he's that guy's gonna be good, I think. So offense, my brain keeps going to Van Jefferson. I really think that this is gonna be a big year for him, man, for sure. I think that's gonna be a fun one. to watch Van Jefferson and see how he really takes that wide receiver 2 role, because he's never really had it before. I mean, he's had it like as a fill-in, but he's never like gone into the season as being like, all right, this is your role now. Like this is who you are. You're number 2 now, you know. So I'm excited to see him. And as far as anybody else on the offense, that's a pretty tough one. Because if we're going breakout, man, I guess you could also throw in like maybe a Cam Akers in there too. If he can kind of build off how he ended last year, I would say that he's in that conversation as well. Let's see here. What about outside fan bases saying we should try and trade Donald before he retires on us? I disagree. I'd rather keep him. Dude, I don't get a lot of this conversation that's happening right now, but sports media is just in a weird place. People, I'm one of the weird ones who think that sports media is more about just clicks and plays, man. Like, I think that the integrity of your content has to be at the forefront. And I think that people who thrive on clicks and plays, they will spike and then they'll fall. And I would say that there's a reason that the Ram Showcase is now in season 8, and some of these people that have done bigger months than Ram Showcase has ever done, but are gone now. I mean, I think that tells you everything. You'll get a lot of people doing different strategies. You'll get a lot of people, but if you do those strategies to get a lot of people, but your content isn't backing that up and you're not, you know, pulling your weight, then those people will see that and they'll find other shows. So, yeah, I think that's all part of that though. Is like the other people and even Rams content creators say stuff like, we should probably just go ahead and get rid of Donald now. It's like, but also how much cooler is it if he's only ever played for the Rams and like, that's it. On his Hall of Fame induction, there's one logo up there. That's way cooler to me. Current and all-time is 99, and hope that Steve becomes a Pro Bowler eventually. Dude, I mean, it's possible. We'll see. We'll see how his career unfolds, man. I think he's got the build, he's got the attitude. So I'm excited for him for sure. I don't need a congratulations for just doing what normal people should do, which is not smoke cigarettes. I feel like that's like it's like, don't congratulate me for not being a murderer. Just don't murder people. Which Rams players will have a movie made about him in the future? I mean, that's so rare that I don't know if we have any right now. Stafford is like the only one that kind of comes to mind right now, simply because of his whole path and his whole story of getting to the Super Bowl. But I think that the story of Kurt Warner is better than that story, so I wouldn't say that's really movie worthy. Definitely like sick documentary worthy though. But as far as like a full on like motion picture, I don't know if we have anybody that's, because there's no stories right now. It's like we don't have a Michael Orr, we don't have a Kurt Warner story right now. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that. Like, do we have any guys who were like homeless or anything? Like, I don't know, man. What about the Pro Bowl after last year? Is dude, Pro Bowl's been meaningless, bro. I couldn't tell you the last Pro Bowl I watched. That's a week off for this guy, man. I don't care. I don't watch that stuff, man. Do they even still do it, or is it just the games now? I actually don't know. Says a guy who does an NFL podcast. I have no idea what the Pro Bowl even looks like. I have zero idea what even is like what goes on that week, because I just check out, man, because it's not worth it. It's not cool. It used to be cool. The second that they moved it away from Hawaii, and I think the first year was in Miami, I think that they moved it away from Hawaii, and that was when it was like, oh, this is not that cool anymore. Got it. And then these guys make too much money to really go all in on a game that does not matter at all. So many guys opt out that you get guys like terrible quarterbacks in there and stuff like that. It's like they dig in so deep now to even get rosters for it. It's not cool. It's not good. What is my opinion of our former female owner? I don't really have strong emotions one way or the other on Georgia. knowing what I know now and being an adult, I say that so loosely because it's like I've been alive for 32 years, but am I an adult? I mean, I guess in society's eyes, but like emotionally, I'm probably like 20. But my opinion on her, as far as like if we look back on everything, I'm very surprised that the NFL let that move happen. Honestly, like looking back on it, I'm kind of surprised um, I'm surprised that the St. Louis Rams even existed. Looking back, I'll say that much. And so to like I know some people bring up the St. Louis thing. It hasn't really happened here, and I realize that I'm the one doing it now, kind of in a weird roundabout way. You did because you brought up Georgia, but um, I'll still take the credit for that one. But I don't even think the St. Louis Rams should have existed anyway. So in my eyes, and I don't mean this as an attack on any individual. So if you are a St. Louis Rams fan, that's fine. That's where I fell in love with the Rams. They were in St. Louis, but I would say that the Rams moving back to LA was more righting a wrong than screwing over a city in St. Louis. Like St. Louis just ended up to be on the bad end of all that stuff. But ultimately, I do think it's the LA Rams. That's just right. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Let's see. I don't watch, but I'm really sad how it's turned out. It used to mean something. I mean, my best memories of the Pro Bowl are when EA Sports used to go to the Pro Bowl and get players to say who they are or whatever before, like when you like turn on the game, like was like Madden 03, and it'd be like Troy Polamalu and be like, "Hey, this is Troy Polamalu from the Pittsburgh Steelers. EA Sports, it's in the game." You know, like that's that's my best Pro Bowl memory, man. Pro Bowl's always been kind of garbage, though. Another question about the Aaron Donald trade rumors. How do I feel about about the rumors trading Aaron Donald? Aaron Donald as a Steeler would be the most acceptable if they gave us 2 first-round picks. I just don't think this happens. I don't know, man. Like it's one of those where it's like we can talk about these possibilities all we want to. I just don't think it happens. I just don't think that the Rams trade Aaron Donald unless he is eventually like, I want to go play for Pittsburgh. I want to go home, because that makes total sense. And it'd be hard to be like super mad at him. It would suck to see him in a different uniform. And I obviously don't want to ever play against him. That's for sure. Especially, could you imagine Aaron Donald going against his former team for the first time? Holy crap. That would be terrible. Just bench your starter, bench your quarterback, because he's going to die that day. So you might as well let your backup take the hit. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a tough one, but I don't really buy into them, I guess, is ultimately how I feel about those trade rumors. We have the information on Stafford that like the reports say that the Rams asked him to take a pay cut, or not a pay cut, but a restructure so that they could push some dollars around. And he said no. I do have this in my notes for the next podcast, but to kind of summarize is I think that he's right for saying no. He doesn't have to do that. We're the ones that gave him the deal, and he signed it. We signed it. He signed it. So if he wants to say no, he wants to say no. I also understand the Rams wanting to do that because that's something that the Rams do. The Rams push around dollars all the time. So, great question coming in here. Did you ever get into a verbal or physical confrontation in a Rams game? Not physical. Look at me, dude. I'm not just like trying to get beat up. That's that's like, me like instigating fights is just me being like, do you want to beat me up real fast, man? I'm not a fighter, bro. I'm more of a quick wit kind of guy. But I mean, I've chirped at people before. It happens, whatever, you know. We're all there for the same reason. We all are there to cheer on our teams, and as long as you're there for that and not making it personal, I got no problems with anybody. I ain't gonna make it personal. If you will, I will hurt your feelings because I'm good at hurting feelings. I think that I'm quick-witted enough and also like perceptive enough. I can pick out something in you that will potentially hurt your feelings, and that's all. I just want to give a quick jab in there, and then just like say something that will just make you feel like an idiot and then move on. That's kind of it's kind of my plan. That's kind of my go-to is that. And I kind of, my anger is a lot lower than it has been in previous years. In my old age of my 30s, I've chilled out so much, dude. My 20s were chaos, but 30s are a lot more reined in and a lot more standard, more baseline. And it's like, I don't know if anybody watches stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I watch stand-up comedy all the time. Patton Oswalt had a point where he was talking about that, where it's like when I was younger, it'd be like excited, schools, or at the worst, like, oh God, I hate this. It's like now it's kind of like at the high end, it's like, oh, in the low end, like, like I feel that, man. I feel that gap closing, that peak and the ceiling and the basement are creeping in now, man. We're living at a ranch now. The ceiling's not that high, the floor's not that low. You know what I mean? So it's we're pretty baseline now, man. I don't get that crazy. I don't get that upset. So yeah, I don't know. So I mean, I've argued, whatever. Arguments happen, things happen, whatever. Donald lost his crazy trade value with retirement hints, though, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a great point, Cody. Like, to say that, like, at his point and at his age and stuff like that. I mean, to say that you would say 2 first-round picks, I'm not sure anybody's giving that, man. I'm not sure anybody's giving that. And it's like, maybe that's what we would want, but think about it from their perspective. Like, say, I mean, there's obviously no one like in Donald's class here, but like, say Aaron Donald was on a different team and we wanted him, would you give up 2 first? At this point, knowing what we know now, put his career, everything that he's done, everything that he's done, including the retirement rumors, you put that onto a different team, are we giving up 2 first? Because what if we give up 2 first and we only get him for 1 year? Now we're burning another first-round pick for the next year. We don't even have the guy we traded him for. That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough to justify. So, I mean, I just don't buy into any of it. I think he's a Ram for now, and we'll see what happens. I might be quick, though. Not really, man. No, I'm not. I'm just not a fighter. My last fight, I was in high school. It was just like some shoving, nothing crazy. Yeah, I've been beat up, but that was for other stuff. Oh, that was a crazy day, dude. Crazy day. The crap kicked out of me. It happens, whatever. I'm good now. I didn't die, so whatever. Do I have Ram stuff on my car? I do. I have a massive Rams logo on my back window, and my license plates say LA Rams. So yeah. And then I got the license plate deal also. So you gotta let the people know, man. You gotta let the people know. Never been in a fight. Oh, at a game. Okay, let's see. Never been in a fight at the game. New Orleans got some threats, but people aren't assholes. Just bad apples in their bunch. Yeah, and you kind of get like Denver sucks. Straight up. Those fans are jerkwads, to put it so lightly. I've had stuff thrown at me at a preseason game in Denver, but then Green Bay was the nicest group of humans I've ever interacted with. And I know I've heard the comments here, but it's like not everybody has that experience. And I will say this to that is that maybe you weren't being as cool as you say. You know what I mean? Because if you go up and you kind of are just being cool, the Green Bay fans were unbelievable. They were so great. So great. Denver fans in preseason throwing stuff at me. Preseason. Like, y'all can win this game. I don't care. This is practice. We talking about practice, man. Not a game. And yeah, so still throwing stuff. So it's like get together, guys. Like get your lives together. This is ridiculous. This is outrageous here. It's a preseason game. Get your life together. But then like I've heard things about Philadelphia where it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you go in there cool. It doesn't matter whatever. If you're wearing the opposing team stuff, you're gonna get hardcore trash talk. People are gonna throw stuff at you. It's just gonna be a bad time. Don't go to Philadelphia if you're the opposing fan. That's just like what it is, which sucks because I would love to see the link. I think that would be awesome to go catch a Rams game out there. But I also know me. I get a few beers into myself. Somebody chirps at me. I'm gonna chirp back. And then now we got a problem because now I'm outnumbered by all these people wearing Kelly Green and and I'm just wearing Soul and Royal like a jerk, because they just don't care, man. So, um, if you have kids in the future, would you demand they are Rams fans? I would not demand that they are Rams fans, Bill. I believe it's Bill. I would not demand that they are Rams fans. My dad is a Chargers fan. I didn't follow that. I'm in Colorado, so obviously I follow it myself. But I'll say this, man, because I have a lot of a lot of friends, and like even like ex-girlfriends and stuff like that, that after hanging out with me for X amount of time, they find themselves becoming Rams fans. And I think that I think that ultimately with how I go about my fandom, which is very much in your face, but also not aggressive. I'm not rude. I'm not whatever. Like, I'm just here to have a good time and enjoy it. I think that is a little bit, what I'll say is like infectious a little bit to some people. And that's what I've been told, at least. Like, I've got an ex-girlfriend who is like, before we dated, didn't really get into football very much or anything like that. Now she's like out here buying jerseys and stuff. And she's buying beanies and all that stuff. Like, and that's awesome. You know, I've got like friends who, it's like my buddy Jackson, who's the Packers fan. It's like, he'll even tell you, like, he's like, yeah, I'm a Packers fan, but I also kind of like the Rams a little bit. Like, and I think part of that is just because of what I am able to, like, how I go about my fandom. I think that it's a welcoming thing. You know what I mean? And I say it on here all the time of like, I don't care if you know what Matthew Stafford's third daughter's middle name is, or if you only know that our quarterback is number 9. All Rams fans are welcome. There's no gatekeeping here. If you want to be a Rams fan, you want to support the Rams, hell yeah, I got your back. That's awesome. I love this team, so I want to share that love a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to be like, I'm a Rams fan. You can't be the Rams fan. I am. Like, that's a weird thing to do. It's like, name 3 players, or it's like, what are you doing out here, dude? Like, just, if somebody wants to show up and just wear a Rams shirt and they don't even know what the heck is going on, they don't know what first down is, but they see you getting pumped and they want to give you a high five, hell yeah, man, bring on the high five. So I think part of that vibe creates other fans. I think that other people enjoy that environment, and when they don't have a team and they see, you know, Eagles fans eating, you know, horse poop off the floor, and then they see me just being like, hey man, yeah, Cooper Kupp, let's go. Like, I mean, who are you going to gravitate towards? You know what I mean? So I would say that if I ever do have kids in the future, I would not force any team on them, but I feel like they would probably just follow in the footsteps, right? Like, I mean, I would like to think so, at least. I think it'd be really cool to like raise a Rams fan and then like go out to LA and stuff like that and share those moments. I think that'd be really fun. But ultimately, man, yeah, I wouldn't force it on anybody for sure. This is feel like Green Bay is old school. Hello, Wisconsin. Yeah, dude, they are very, very much old school. We went to Kroll's East, bro. That was one of the sickest places I've ever been. I love that place. I want to go back so bad to Kroll's East, man. It was one of the best, probably the best broad I've ever had in my life. It was just like this, such a vibe, dude. Like, you could tell that place hasn't changed since the 70s, and I'm here for that, dude. Like, I loved it, man. It felt so local. It felt very authentic. I just absolutely loved that. But yeah, out there, they're great, man. I loved it out there. I would go out there. I would live there. I would totally live in Green Bay. If I got like offered a radio job in Green Bay, if I got offered a radio job in LA, then hell yeah, dude. But if I got offered a radio job in Green Bay, I'd probably take that. That'd be great, man. I liked it out there a lot. I also really love the cold. So like the one thing about LA that I would not like is that it does not get cold. I like the snow. I like that stuff. So what did I do though? What are you talking about? What did you do? To like get stuff thrown at me at a Broncos game? I just clapped for a touchdown, dude. Clapped for a touchdown. And I was like, yeah, we're all here for the same reason. We just want to watch our teams play, right? Like, why are you throwing stuff, dude? Like, you got to do all that. It doesn't got to be like that. It's just not going to be like that. Especially if I'm not like turning around, giving the finger, like, screw you guys. Eat it. Like, I'm not doing any of that, man. I'm just like, hey, touchdown. Or that big run. Who was it live? There was a big run in Denver. It was a preseason game. The Hard Knocks year. Me and my buddy James went to the game. There was a big one. I stood up. I'm like waving my tail, like, yeah, hell yeah, let's go. And people were like, shut up, you idiot. Like, so it's like, all right. Sorry, I wanted to cheer for a good play, dude. Sorry. Losers. Favorite Charger. I'd probably say, I mean, the first football player's name I ever knew was my dad's favorite player, and that's Junior Seau. He was my dad's favorite player forever. So kind of always will hold that number 55. And that's what pumped me up about James Laurinaitis. Like 55, my brain immediately was like, oh, you can say that, like, which is really cool. But loved Darren Sproles, man. That guy was very fun to watch. Sean Merriman, I really liked. Quentin Jammer, I thought was really awesome. Tomlinson, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of awesome players, man. And yeah, I've watched a bunch of Chargers games with my dad. We went up a couple years back. I guess it's been a few now, but the Chargers and Broncos played on Thursday night football up in Denver. So me and my dad went to that, and we watched Antonio Gates become the all-time leading receiver in Chargers history. We watched it happen, and that kind of stuff is unreal, man. Like, that's the kind of stuff you always kind of hang on to. You know, it's like I watched that happen. Like I watched a history changing play. Like back in San Diego, I think at the time. Like back at home, they're rewriting the record books now. They're changing names on the record books. There's now a new number one, and I watched it happen. You know, that kind of stuff is really cool. I love football, man. Just love that kind of stuff. So, but get Gates too, dude. I mean, being a basketball player and then ends up being one of the sickest tight ends in the history of the game. That's so dope, dude. If Falk, Warner, and Stafford were running for president, who would you vote for? Well, first, I need to register, and then second of all, if I'm going between these, I'm going Stafford, dude. I'm going Stafford for sure. He seems the most like, not that like they're like Falk and Warner aren't level-headed, but I like Stafford. I think he would do a great job. Falk, I've heard some things about Falk, and I like him being my all-time favorite player. I don't know if I want to meet him. Like I've heard some things about him being a jerk, man. So we'll see. But dude, these Eagles fans need to be stopped, bro. No lie. Who do you think has the biggest fan base, the largest amount of people? Probably Dallas, right? Probably, I would guess. I know the Patriots really claimed a good chunk of the younger fans just from the era of just being super sick. Obviously, like it's cool when people are sick and like teams are fun, and when you're looking for something to latch onto as like a 14-year-old fan for the first time, you don't really have a team, then you know you're like, who's sick right now? Oh, the Patriots, yeah. So like I feel like that's probably a thing. But other than that, yeah, probably Dallas. If I had to say like who has the most fans, probably Dallas. I see them everywhere. I mean, I'm in an AFC country area, but yeah, I mean Dallas fans are everywhere, dude. Over a clap, dude. Over a clap. Brett, dude, single T, what up? He's got one T. He lost it. He lost his other T. He doesn't like to talk about why. Taylor Rapp made a play. Yeah, probably. Well, watching LT for the Chargers. Sean Merriman. Best friend's dad was a Chargers fan. Nice. Yeah, it was cool stuff, man. It's just I think that's a thing too. It's like how I kind of talked about like the Rams in St. Louis. It's like the Chargers are San Diego. Like make it right next of that team. Make it right. Send back. Yeah, send them back. I think that team needs to sell, and that they need to figure it out with the city of St. Louis. Will the Chargers ever leave survive? So, okay, let's talk about it. The Chargers pay $1 a year to play in SoFi Stadium, so not a lot of incentive to get on out of there. They have a 20-year deal initially with two separate 10-year options that the Rams have zero control over. Those two 10-year options that are back, like they're back to back. those are solely controlled by the Chargers side of things. So, with that being said, the Chargers could play in SoFi Stadium for 40 years for $40 total. And that's pretty extreme, man. And I don't know what incentive it looks like to, like, instead of paying $1 a year to play at SoFi Stadium, one of the sickest places in the universe, to instead now need to like build a stadium and relocate again and file relocation paperwork and pay a relocation fee again. So to say that, man, I don't know how long the Chargers will be in SoFi. I feel like they'll eventually go back, but I would guess that in total they will have been the LA Chargers for 30 years. That's going to be my guess. And then after that, I would anticipate that they would move on. But who knows, man? One thing I feel pretty confident in is that the Rams are in LA forever. Like, I just feel like that's the thing. Dude, Edwin, heck yeah, dude, this hat is sick. I feel like I've never been able to really wear it until my hair has gotten ridiculous, because now it looks more normal, I guess. But yeah. Are those tattoos the most pain you've ever experienced? No. Kidney stones. Kidney stones are the most pain I've ever experienced. These ones weren't bad. Oh, yeah. This is the worst tattoo in the universe, by the way. I fully accept that. But this one was not bad. This one hurt pretty bad. This one's not bad. One on my chest wasn't that bad. So, I don't know. I like tattoos. I like getting them. These ones up here were fine. I like getting tattoos. I think it kind of feels good, actually. I have a pretty good pain tolerance, I think. But I like any tattoo. I don't think I could get one anywhere where I'd be like, "I can't do this." Like, I feel like I'd be all right just about anywhere. Signal T. Let's talk Rams running back. What are your thoughts on the carries if old Kerr can be RB1? Also, Brett, I don't know if you want to, man. Signal T, you want to pop on, share the link. Anybody can join, by the way. And then I will have to get out of here decently soon, simply because I got a concert to go to. It's one of the perks of the job is I get to go to shows, like a lot, unless work, which does happen because, yeah. Oh, let's see here. But thoughts on the carries, if he can be RB1. I still think we see a good split, honestly. But that is Kyren Williams going to be that guy? Is Zach Evans going to be that guy? Is Sony Michel going to be that guy? So I would say that we probably won't see a lot of Zach Evans this year. I anticipate that if Sony Michel does make this team, it's going to be a lot of Akers and Michel. And then if he doesn't make the team and maybe he's just trying to put out tape in preseason, then maybe we do see Kyren Williams come in. But I do anticipate that Akers will get the bulk of the carries here. But I feel like it's going to be a pretty close to like more of like a 60-40 split than anything. Maybe we'll see like a 70-30 if it's kind of working out that way. But I think we'll see a pretty big split in the carries as far as what Cam Akers will be getting. Hope that answers your question. I feel like that's like all I got right now because we really don't know who Kyren Williams or Zach Evans are, and even what Sony Michel is today. You know what I mean? So. In 2000, I went to the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Falk was the only Ram that walked by me and a group of Rams fans and dissed us. Yeah, I've heard stories, man. Warner stopped and talked and signed autographs. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about Marshall Falk. Actually, one of the stories that I heard was somebody in St. Louis said they went into a bar and saw Marshall. I have no idea who told me the story, by the way. It's been years. But they walked into a bar and saw Marshall Falk in there, and he was like so drunk that they had to carry him out and stuff, and he was just kind of being rude to everybody and all that stuff. So I mean, whatever. What makes kidney stones hurt the most? Bro, the back, dude. It got me like going from the kidney to the bladder, dude. That'll put you down, man. Put you down. It's painful, but so I drink a lot of water now. We got right here, Justin. You never know. You never know. Gotta have water. Yeah, so I don't recommend it. Getting kidney stones. Have them twice. Yeah, sucks. You know what sucks worse than that though? Super Bowl 53. I would have taken a kidney stone and not have that outcome again. Holy crap. No, it's lame, lame stuff. Would you trade a kidney stone for a Super Bowl? Yeah, like I just said. Yeah, I would do that. I mean, because like pain is temporary. You know what I mean? Pain goes away. Super Bowls are forever, dude. Forever. We'll take away the ring. You can't take this away. This is here forever now. This thing is awesome. Man. That's so cool. We got the Stafford dude. That's awesome. It's such like a weird thing. Like I would have never thought that I'd be the guy that like I need to get a Super Bowl ring. I need to get a replica. Never thought that would happen, but the way my brain kind of worked out with it was more of like it's like, well, last time the Rams won the Super Bowl, I was 9, almost 9. So now that I'm, we won when I was 30. It's like this could be the last one I see ever. Like this could be the last Super Bowl that I watch the Rams win. That's very realistic. Some people never get to see their team win a Super Bowl. My dad is one of them. Like they've gone to one Super Bowl and got smoked by the Niners. You know what I mean? So like my dad's kind of talking about that. He's like, I don't know if I'll ever see a Chargers Super Bowl win. And he might not. Who knows? But like this one, we got ours, and this might be it. This could be the last one that I see in my lifetime. You know what I mean? So it's got to hang on to it, man. Got to do the thing and have fun with it. So, true fan, because I'd trade a kidney stone for a Super Bowl. Dude, I feel like that's easy, man. It's an easy call. I would do a kidney stone for another Stanley Cup champion from the Avs, too. Dude, that was, speaking of that, by the way, that was the sickest thing I could have possibly imagined. I talked about the Rams and the Avalanche are my two teams, and to see them win as kids was awesome. Like to see like the when the Avs showed up, I was very, very young when the Avs showed up in '96, only 5, but they won right away, and then of course won a couple years later. But like I'm a kid, I don't really understand what's going on. Like I didn't understand the gravity of the situation of like the Rams winning a Super Bowl or the Avs winning a Stanley Cup back then. But then when I turned 30 and both of them winning championships in 2021, I was feeling pretty damn good. And that's awesome, man. I don't think I could ever top that. Like the only way that I could top that would be because like I am a Texas A&M fan. So if they would have won, that would have been cool. But I'm also like a lot lower on my Texas A&M fandom, What else? What else could have happened? The only thing, okay, if the Rams doing the Super Bowl, if Disturbed played the halftime show, that's the only possible way that I could think that was better. But also, that halftime show was so sick. So I don't know. I don't know about even that. So yeah, man, it's that would be the only way that whole interaction with those championships could have gone better for me personally, is if Disturbed played the halftime show. I'm a massive Disturbed fan. I got to see him last Tuesday up in Denver. It was awesome. I was front row for the first time. I've seen him a bunch of times. That was the first time being right in the front, which is really, really cool. It was at Ball Arena where the Avs and Nuggets play. But that was awesome, man. I got Mike Wangren, drummer of Disturbed. He threw me a stick at the end, so I have that. Yeah, awesome stuff. This is Dan Jonigan, the guitarist. He threw me a towel. He was faking like he was going to throw me his guitar, and I was like, "Yo, I will catch this. I will catch this thing." And then he throws the towel. So still pretty cool, but yeah, I want that guitar. Is my radio DJ name? It is Sheriff Joe Bags. That's not a lie, man. I go by Sheriff Joe Bags on the radio. You can listen to me. We do have an app. I'm the night guy. Just a rock station, though. I should say just a rock station. It's a station I grew up listening to, which is pretty cool stuff. We actually found a photo in the archives from 1994 of my dad holding a hat from the station that I work for now. So pretty cool stuff, actually. But yeah, that's the day job, I guess. The night job, I guess. I don't know what to really say. Yeah, but yeah, I go by Sheriff Joe Bags on the radio. Any other questions? Like I said, I am going to pop out of here at some point decently soon. I do want to head up to the venue here in a little bit to check out Power Man 5000 is in town. And then also they're playing with a band called Priest. If you don't know Priest, or if you don't really know much about like rock and stuff like that, then maybe you don't. But Priest has band members that were part of the original iteration of the band Ghost, which is pretty sick stuff. So excited to see them. They're from Sweden. Powerman 5000, their frontman is the younger brother of Rob Zombie, so that's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, gonna head up there in a little bit to enjoy the concert. I say concert, I would say it's more of a show. It's more of a show. It's at a place called the Black Sheep, which is kind of a small place. It's been around a while and stuff like that, but yeah. Any other questions? Anybody tell me? Anybody want to join me real fast before I peace out? Feel free. You also don't have to subscribe. That's fine. Just go to ramshowcase.com. That's where all the cool stuff happens. Can you break down what team from our division needs to make playoffs most? Rams. What the hell are you talking about? Maybe I don't understand this question. Maybe I don't understand this question. Break down what team from our division needs to make playoffs most. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Rams. Final answer. Lock it in. Show me Rams. Bling. It's a weird reference, but I'm sure everybody got it. I feel confident in that, actually. Do you guys wear bucket hats? I'm here for it. I've wanted a bucket hat ever since I saw Chris Long and Robert Quinn wearing them. They like took a photo where they're like kind of standing there in the practice, and I was like, I need a bucket hat. Boom. Now I've got a bunch, actually. We got one more over here. Or you can hop on with me and ask me that question so where maybe it'll make sense to me, because maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. There's only one team in this division needs to make playoffs, and that's the LA Rams. Screw the others. Fitted hat guy. Okay. Yeah, I usually go with just like the backwards caps and stuff like that. I've also got like I'm a big beanie guy, but I've also got like you see this gray one down here. It doesn't really fit me well or anything like that. I've got a few like that. These two I just think are super sick together. Like I just think that's like a these are awesome when they're when they're being homies. This was one of my favorites for a long time, actually. It's kind of sun faded and all that, but because I wore the crap out of it. It's good stuff. Yeah, dude, for sure next week. I don't know what words are. I don't know exactly what time we'll be on next week for sure, but I'll try to get it posted as early as possible. I kind of didn't know what was going to go down today. I didn't know if I was going to have some other plans. That's why I didn't know until today what time I was going to be able to hop on. But now with the concert, so like that, I obviously knew that, so I wanted to get, before and give enough time and all that stuff. But and then last week being in Denver, that was kind of chaotic, so I definitely wanted to try to nail it down a little bit better and maybe get a little bit more ahead of time as far as when I'm putting out when the live stream will happen. Oh, you do camera shot? That's totally fine. No worries at all. Doing stuff like this is not for everybody either. I realize that. You're definitely putting yourself out there. I'm going to scare you about it right now. It's like, because it doesn't matter how good you do of anything. Somebody hates you, and somebody's going to talk trash to you, and somebody is calling you stupid, and some of the meanest things that you could think of in comments. You're like, damn, dude, what did I do to you, man? Like, I don't even know you. It's kind of funny. You gotta laugh it off and move on. That's part of like being an internet person. Is you just gotta realize that some people are gonna love you, some people are gonna hate you, and that's fine. That's totally fine. All right. Well, actually, I see my numbers dropping here, so we're gonna go ahead and call it there. I'm gonna get out of here. Head over to this concert, this show. Check out Powerman 5000 and Priest. That's where I'm headed now. So, hey, thanks for everybody hanging out. Definitely appreciate y'all. Make sure you check out ramshowcase.com. That's where all the cool stuff happens. So definitely check out there. I think I've got a thing here. Where's that? There we go. Boom. See? Right there. Yeah, at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags for all the social media stuff. But yeah, ramshowcase.com. You can also watch this here or there, wherever you're at, I guess. So I do embed it. I forgot last week, just with the chaos of Denver and all that stuff, but it's good stuff. But yeah, again, thanks for hanging out with me. CG, thanks for hopping on. I don't think he's here anymore, but it's cool to get a little bit of a conversation with a Niners fan and kind of put him in his place a little bit. I was kidding. At least have a conversation. But yeah, it's good to hear from the perspective of that, because it's like we obviously see that team from a different view. So to hear not only what he thinks about what I'm seeing, but also like his perspective on the Rams is really interesting to see. So again, thank you to CG and everybody who hops on with me and chills with me talking about the LA Rams. I always feel like I start these streams and I'm like, how am I going to talk about the Rams? Like, what's going on right now that we can talk about? And then it happens. Now we're over 2 hours that I've just been talking about the Rams and a little bit of kidney stone stuff, I guess. So I guess it is a good mix. It's a good mix. What else could you want? Talk about the Rams, talk about kidney stones, talk about Power Man 5000. Dude, this show's got everything. Again, thanks for hanging out, y'all, and enjoy your night and the rest of this week. Happy Monday. Actually, before Jackson or Gurley, Jackson for his longevity, Gurley for his peak. All right. On that note, peacing out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. And thanks for hanging out. Back to it again next Monday. Keep your eyes on the Ram Showcase socials for the timing